Alright, everyone. I am eating kind of late at night because I took a nap when I got back from work today. So, I want to share some thoughts. First things first, there's like a lot of seems like there's so much just happening in the world in general. Like, so many just horrible things happening all over the world. And I just feel sad. All of the people affected by that hurricane, people who lost their lives. And it seems like basically the people who they thought it was going to affect, myself included, were spared, and areas where they weren't expecting it seemingly got the worst of it. And I don't know. I just feel like it just goes to show how we can try to predict things and we might think we know things, but we can never fully know how things are going to go. Anyways, I wanted to discuss a couple of things. So, one of my favorite YouTube channels is, it's called Daily Dose of Wisdom. And I just watched a video that I think it was filmed or posted a while ago. But basically, it was a debate Charlie Kirk did with some college students. And one of the college students in particular is this notorious TikToker named Parker, who's known for just debating specifically about Christians and Christianity. Like, he don't care about talking about anything but God, and like trying to prove to people he's right about God and he knows more about God. And he's pretty arrogant about it too. And I remember I had come across a few of his videos. He's always doing lives and debates. He thinks he's like so smart. And he's actually super foolish, right? Like, he doesn't understand anything about the Bible, but he seems to believe he just knows way more about Christianity than actual Christians. And I feel like that's the arrogance that comes from someone who just hates God at the end of the day. I'm like, you can be an atheist without... Actually, maybe this is a question, I suppose. Can you be an atheist without hating God? Like, are there atheists who don't hate the idea of God? And if so, where are they? Also, I just want to say, like, it doesn't bother me that someone's atheist. It bothers me when someone tries to tell Christians what they believe and when they don't actually understand the Bible or Christianity or Jesus or God. And Parker's super arrogant. And watching even just the few clips I saw of the debate, it was so hard to watch him be just so... And maybe, I know a lot of people don't like Charlie Kirk because maybe he comes off that way too, like arrogant and condescending at times, especially during like political debates and stuff. And I've always thought too, like, if you're debating someone, you should be slow to speak and listen to actually understand. Because if you're debating someone and you're not listening to understand their point of view, you can't argue with like the root cause of their. It's easier to debate if you understand the opposer's point of view. So listen to understand, don't listen just to respond. And it just seemed like neither of them, well, in my opinion, it was more the Parker who just would not let the Charlie Kirk speak or answer the questions because he felt like he had him in some sort of gotcha. Anyways, my question for the Parker kid is really just this. I'm like, do you hate all religions or just Christianity specifically? Because he seems to only have an issue with Christians specifically. And I, of course, know why that is, but I wonder if he knows why he specifically only dislikes and attacks and antagonizes Christianity and Christians specifically. And I don't think he understands why. I think he thinks he knows why, but I don't think he actually knows the real reason. But I've talked about this before. Most atheists specifically hate Christians. Well, I shouldn't say most. The atheists who don't like God specifically have an issue with Christianity specifically. Like, I don't really hear them speak out or against other religions like Islam or Judaism or Hinduism or Buddhism. It's specifically like, we don't like Christians and the biblical God. And for me, that's not a coincidence. And it's not a coincidence either if you understand the Bible. Anyways, so I would like to ask him if he knows why he specifically only targets Christianity if he doesn't believe the other religions either. Why only hate specifically on Christianity? Why do a lot of these people always specifically have something against Christians but not other religions? I assume some people will say, well, they have this feeling, they feel as though Christianity has done more damage to the world, which is actually false. The idea that Christianity harms people is honestly a lie. It comes from people not liking the concept of sin. Or people who've probably dealt with some sort of church hurt or religious trauma that usually stems from a person in church, not actual Christian values. But that's another topic. So anyways, I just had that thought on, does he understand why he specifically targets Christians and not other religions? And if he knows the reason why, or if he can specify at least why. And let me tell you something, y'all. Christianity is different from all other religions, and I just had this kind of epiphany about why that is. I feel like most religions, you have to earn heaven for yourself by doing good works, essentially. And in a lot of other religions, you're meant to make sacrifices to God. Like a lot of pagan religions, they were always making sacrifices to those gods, which the Bible calls idols or false gods. But pagan practices were essentially building altars and making sacrifices to pagan gods for protection. And when you realize that paganism is witchcraft, like, I don't know how deep y'all want me to get, but a lot of the pagan beliefs are pretty much what witchcraft is. People who practice witchcraft are pretty much practicing paganism. They make sacrifices to false gods, to idols, to get what they want, if it's protection, if it's healing, if it's whatever. They're doing these witchcraft things, making sacrifices to what the Bible would say are the pagan gods, and then hoping that in return, those gods will give them those things, deities, whatever they're worshiping. So, that is common practice for a lot of religions, in Hinduism and Buddhism. You're sacrificing to the gods, different gods for different things. But anyways, why is Christianity different from those? Obviously you're sacrificing to those different gods, or you're basically told like you have to earn heaven by basically, or you earn good things by being a good person. And that is very contrast to Christianity. One, the biggest thing is, in Christianity, God sacrificed himself for humanity. Instead of humanity sacrificing for God, Christianity is literally God sacrificing himself for humanity. There are no other gods and other religions that have done that. Because if you understand the Bible, Jesus is God in human form. So Jesus dying on the cross was God sacrificing himself. Because God, the Father, which is God, the eternal God, can't die. He had to put himself in a human form in order to be a sacrifice for sins. So people don't understand that concept. Like, if Jesus is God, how could he die? God had to make himself in a human form in order to be a sacrifice for humanity. Because God the Father and Jesus are one. And it's like, it's confusing to people who try to think too much about details. But you have to understand, like, it in... I mean, I feel like it also makes sense, but... Anyways, the point. In Christianity, God sacrifices himself for humanity instead of us sacrificing for God. And the other part of it is God makes it clear that we can't earn heaven for ourselves. Like, he said the only way that we could earn heaven is to be perfect. And he basically says none of us are perfect. And that it wouldn't be possible for us to earn heaven because of our sin. And so basically the Old Testament is pointing out all of the sins that humans do. To this day, they still do. And then the New Testament is basically God giving us the solution to our sins and to the problem of sin. But basically, God made heaven available to everyone through Jesus, not by the things that we do, but based on what Jesus did. And so in that way, it's just like, no one can take credit for, no one can boast about, well, I lived this perfect life and that's why I got heaven. But other religions believe that you can earn heaven by good works. And the Bible says, none of y'all are perfect but Jesus. So, anyways, understanding that is like, Christianity really is different from all other religions. I mean, I don't know another religion where the deity sacrifices himself for the benefit of the people who worship him. All of the other deities in the Bible, they just want they want to be worshipped. They want you to make sacrifices to them. They want you to do things. And the funny thing is, the sacrifices, in a sense, stem from Christianity too. Because I don't know if people know this, if you read the Old Testament or read Genesis, there's like a period of time where we're not told like all the details of what are happening, but you understand that like during this time, all of these pagan gods and pagan religions come about because the Bible tells a story that starts from the beginning of everything. Okay, but anyways, so I just wanted to share that. That was kind of just like something I think is really important that does what separates Christianity from other religions. That's probably one of the major things, but it's also the fact that you can't earn heaven through good works like every other religion tells you. It's not about like what you do. It's about what Jesus did. And then also, the Bible just makes it very clear that the things that humans desire are not of God, and that like everything the world offers to us is like, it's never going to satisfy you. So anyways, that was the second part. And then let's talk about I mean, I haven't really been keeping up with the whole P. Diddy thing, but I also want to say, too, like, the people who are shocked by the revelations of all of the evil things that celebrities are doing is because they haven't been listening. And when I tell y'all, I told y'all in 2020, I watched this 3 hour long video of this man, I can't even remember, but he basically said all of the things. Basically, everything he said in this video is what is being revealed now. And people thought he was crazy when he made that video. And I think when I watched the video, it was like 3 years old. So this was like 6 years ago, maybe. But he was like a former contestant, and he basically said, like, all of these celebrities, all of these politicians, they pretty much are all doing they're part of these secret elite societies who are all doing evil things at all times. And P. Diddy being exposed is a part of that, but it's really just even a small portion. Like, P. Diddy, I feel like, is taking the fall right now, but he's not the sole celebrity involved in this type of stuff. It goes very, very deep. And the Bible also says everything done in the dark will eventually come to light. Like everything done in secret will eventually get revealed. So like the truth coming out now is not like the truth is eventually going to come out about all of the evil things that people are doing behind closed doors. And none of the celebrities that none of the celebrities that y'all think are good, they all have some skeletons in their closet. Because I even remember too, and this is like a personal thing, I remember me and my friend were going to some party, and our Uber driver was telling us this story about how he was like a rapper or an actor or something, and how he ended up. And this is why I say they're all connected. It's all part of the one problem. Like all of these celebrities doing all of these evil things, politicians, people in power, they're all connected. The sex trafficking, all of these big issues that are happening in the world, they're all connected because they all have the same problem or the same root cause. But what was I saying? So story time. So our Uber driver was telling us how he went to like some party at I don't know if I should say the name, but it's just like, I mean, I'm just telling you what the guy told us. This is not me making up. He said he was invited to a party at Tyler Perry's house in Atlanta. We were in Atlanta at the time. And he said how they pretty much offered him a lot of money they said they were gonna make him famous, that he would be like the next big thing, but he had to sleep with him. And you know why? At the time, my friend thought it was crazy. I believed the guy. This is what I say. This is what I always say. There is no reason for someone to lie about something like that. Like I know people lie about things, but I feel like when people are sharing their experiences and their stories, I believe them. I don't know, like, where in the world would you make up? I feel like there's just certain things that you can't, like, I feel like it's certain things that, like, people just can't make up. Like, why would someone make up they went to Tyler Perry's house and he offered them all of this money if he slept with him? Like, where would you make that, like, what would you gain from making that up? But I believed him. I could tell he was telling the truth, basically. When he said it, I was like, that's crazy, that's wild. My friend, on the other hand, like, didn't want to believe him. And I was just like, why would he lie about any of that stuff? Like, who would go through all of this trouble to make up a specific thing that was said to him or told to him? And basically, he had been saying, and I want to say this was a party back in like 2018, 2019. He was saying too, he was like, all of these celebrities, literally everything coming out now is just like, it just proves everything. These people are, the people telling these stories aren't crazy. Like, a lot of people just don't want to believe the truth because the truth, what Kanye said, the truth sounds crazy in a world full of lies. And so all these people, Orlando Brown, have been talking about P. Diddy. There have been so many stories about P. Diddy that coming out. No one believed them. No one wanted to believe them. Everyone wants to say Orlando Brown was crazy. Orlando Brown is not crazy. I truly do think he is a genius. He's very smart. But Orlando Brown also probably endured a lot of trauma as a child actor. And that gives us back to the other thing. All of these actors and celebrities and influencers in Hollywood have to go through and deal with so much trauma to get this fame and fortune. And that was something that ties back to what I was going to say before. Let me find the verse because I literally just read it in my Bible. Where they're basically talking about, y'all, did I highlight it? I don't remember. Okay. It was in 1 John 2nd, I want to say. Given. It says, do not love this world. Do not love this world nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. For the world offers only a craving for physical pleasure, a craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. These are not from the Father, but are from this world. And this world is fading away along with everything that people crave. But anyone who does what pleases God will live forever. So basically, when people seek out the things of this world, when they want fame, when they want money, when they want, fortune and all of the things that the world has to offer, it comes with a price. And so all of these celebrities that we see and think like they have all of these great things, like their souls, it came at a price. Like they're actually, like, people don't believe that people sell their soul for those things. How many rappers in their songs got to be like, I sold my soul to the devil, before y'all actually believe that that's what they're actually doing to make it in this industry? A lot of them are actually making deals with the devil to get those things because they desire the things of the world more than they desire the things of God. And when you see these celebrities hurting, after getting to where they think they think the things of the world are going to fulfill them, and then they get everything they think they wanted and they're still empty because their soul craves, is not, it can't be satisfied. Like the cravings that he's saying, like the Bible is saying, like it can't be satisfied by the things that the world offers. And so a lot of these celebrities are hurting and suffering because they sacrificed pretty much their souls in order to get the fame and fortune that the world offers. And all of these evil things that P. Diddy is being exposed of doing, he's not the only guilty celebrity of. Plenty of other people are a part of it. And like more of this stuff is probably going to get exposed because at the end of the day, everything done in the dark will eventually come to light. But just know, when you're looking at all of these celebrities, they are all part of the same problem. And it's just really sad hearing about like all of the victims, right? But then those victims still don't get out. And the only way, like when people see like celebrities turning back to God, they don't understand why these celebrities, is because people in Hollywood are surrounded by so much evil. They're surrounded by so much evil, these evil people doing evil things. And it's a lot of people with a lot of power doing all these evil things. So just know P. Diddy is not the first person that's gonna be exposed for all of this stuff, and he's not the only person involved. So again, like I said, an Uber driver back in like 2018-19 said basically the same thing P Diddy was doing, Tyler Perry was doing. Basically, he was sleeping with these men, specifically men, not the woman, but he would offer these men money, contracts, anything they wanted. And what was the other thing he said? I want to say too, they said like they filmed it so that they always had like the like it's just like everything P Diddy is being exposed for doing is something that a lot it's happened. It's been happening in Hollywood for years. And basically once they get you to agree, if you agree to sleep with them because you want the fame, money, fortune, and you want to be a famous actor, whatever, they film it, and then they have that as like blackmail on you. So if you ever do something they don't like, they'll expose you. And it's like funny because I'm like, if they expose you, they expose themselves. But they hold that over your head because they get you to agree to something, you know, I guess I don't know. Basically, he said like they would film you and then they would hold that blackmail over your head. So it's basically just this Hollywood, all of Hollywood is pretty much just people selling their souls, selling their dignity, selling whatever in order to be famous and get money and all of these things. But it always is it's at a price. And I honestly do think a lot of celebrities are miserable because they've sold like their dignity, or they've sold their like self-respect basically in order to be famous, in order to be rich and wealthy. So yeah, basically nothing that comes out really shocks me because again, everything that guy had said in that 3-hour video I watched, and when I tell y'all, he said a lot of more worse things. He basically said like Hollywood or a lot of these celebrities are pretty much part of this like sex cult, this demonic sex cult. Why is it sex involved? I don't know, but he basically said it's all just one huge demonic sex cult. And that's why P. Diddy coming out with all of this stuff and all of the things that he was doing is not surprising to me because I watched that video years and years ago and I could tell the guy was telling the truth. It's like people were saying he's crazy, he's making this up. There's just some things that it's like it's too crazy to be made up, you know? And like I said, I just know like I believe people when they speak on their actual experiences. Now, if someone was telling a story about somebody else, not something they actually experienced, okay. Like if you're not sharing your actual experience, then it's possible to be lying. But when someone is sharing their personal experience and they can recite it like confidently, it's like they're not making that up. They're telling the truth. So again, let's go back to all of these celebrities that people are saying are crazy because they're saying things that people don't want to believe about their favorite celebrities. They're not crazy. They're telling the truth. But back to what I said before. The truth sounds crazy in a world full of lies. People don't want to believe that they're favorite celebrities because y'all make idols out of celebrities. That's the other part of the problem. People are worshiping these celebrities like they are worthy of that, and these celebrities are not. Like you should have never put them on a pedestal to begin with because they're human beings who are flawed at the end of the day. Oprah, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Ellen, I mean, I don't know. I don't care. That's why I said I don't really care about any particular celebrity like that. I don't put them on pedestals, which is why I'm like, it's not shocking because I'm not worshiping these celebrities, or I don't think of someone being a celebrity automatically makes them like a good, decent human being. So it's only shocking to people who have this false perception of people being like good. So yeah. And I'm not saying that you should focus on all of the things that these celebrities are doing and like keep up with it. I'm just saying like it's not shocking when you understand the word of God, and also when you realize that everything that's going on in the world, because the world is demonically influenced. Like it always comes down to like it's God versus the devil. Or I really should say it's God versus the world, because biblically speaking, the world is pretty much the word the Bible uses to describe sin, your flesh, and evil. Like the world, the desires of this world are the desires of evil things, of sinful things, of flesh, like things of your flesh. It's pretty much like synonymous with sin, it's synonymous with evil, it's synonymous with just like it goes it's in opposition. The world is in opposition to God at all times. Like the things of the world are always in opposition to God. So yeah, that's all I really have to say. Basically, I just think there's a lot of things are getting exposed, but some of the things that we're finding out about, it's just like don't get super distracted by them, because at the end of the day, like they're distractions. It all comes down to like the most important thing is really having a relationship with Christ, having a relationship with God. Because things in this world are only about to get crazier as more things get exposed. And like people who don't know God are going to be so confused seeing all of these evil things come out, because they live in this, I guess maybe it's like a bubble of believing like the world is full of good people. But like I said, I watched that video, and if I can find it, I will link it down below. I watched that video 3 years, like so, however many years ago. Never, my mindset, I was mind blown. And it made sense. It also made sense why the world hates Christianity too. Why a lot of why it's common for these major publications to like hate Christianities and put down Christians. When you watch that video, it makes it very clear why they hate Jesus, why they hate Christians, why they don't want people to be Christians. They hate Christians most of all because Christianity is in opposition to everything that these people want, because it's demonically influenced. At the end of the day, it's really just the devil. But people don't a lot of people like will talk about God, but they never talk about the devil. The devil is mentioned in the Bible many times. It's like y'all I mean, I feel like people don't like to acknowledge the devil and acknowledge the opposition to God that actually does exist in the world. They only talking about God in a bad light, but they never talk about like people mockingly worship the devil, I don't know if that's making sense, but it's like people make light of the real opposition that exists against God, and that there's people who worship the devil. All right, guys, I think that's all I have for tonight. I just wanted to share these thoughts because I don't know. The world, like I said, a lot of things are getting exposed, but I feel like if you're a Christian, it's not surprising if you understand the Bible, if you understand like everything going on is just it's all part of the same problem, which is just like we live in a fallen world. and we need Jesus. And that's all I gotta say.